Anyways, I really enjoyed it. But onward to Dan the Dan.
Dan. I want to try my hand at voice acting someday. What do you think I would do well?
I think you would do great, Greg. I think you would be fantastic at it.
Yeah, I mean, I would just be like, Daddy, chill. Did I get the job?
You got a job.
Damn. Okay. All right. Dan to Dan, episode 8.
Dan to Dan, spoiler free. What's up?
A lot more music stuff. I don't know what is going on. In my mind, I was picturing they were going to play like DDR, but this is so outside of what I was imagining this episode was going to be. I don't know much about music, and I'm hoping you can explain how Okarun wins at the end, because I don't get it.
I kind of explained it last episode. It's the metronome. Like, time moves linearly, but you can always become somewhat faster in when you have like these superpowers. It's like this. Like 60 BPM is 120 BPM, which is 240 BPM. All of these things are the same. If you're looking at half count, quarter count, like all of these, it's all divisible. If I wanted to mix a song that was 65 BPM and I wanted to like quicken the pace, I would mix a song that's 130 BPM. You're doubling the timing, and you can like build energy with it. So basically, you'd be like, I'm going from the baby to house music.
Okay.
So the amount of actions and beats that you can take in a normal metronome of whatever BPM they are in can be quickened as long as you keep the rhythm.
So why can't you take like a 65 BPM song and mix it with a 120 BPM song?
Because you wouldn't be in time. You would be off by like a 65 would go to 130 because 65 times 2 is 130.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to think like why. Okay, okay.
It's called a train wreck is what it would happen.
Oh, so got it.
You can mix the first beat. By the second beat, they would be completely out of sync.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Starting two songs at the same time, like even smaller differences of BPM. I'm going to give you an example. 64.5 is 129. But if I was playing the second song at 128 and I was playing the first song at 64.5, it would take probably a second and a half to go out of sync. It would then turn into an immediate train wreck. It would eventually come back around for a moment and have the beats sync up at one point again, but then it would go back out of sync.
I understand now. I guess this is a DJ question more than a Dan to Dan question. If there was a song that was like 65, could you speed it to like 70 and then mix it with a 140 song? Or
yes.
Could you slow down a 140 song and then mix it with a 65? Yes.
So when DJs are up there, there's a thing, it's now known as the speed of the song, but on a turntable of any kind, there's a thing called pitch control. And what that used to do was speed up the song, but also change the pitch of the song. In our programs now, there is a little button that you can click to keep the same key of the song. So like if the song is in, say, like D minor, and you moved the pitch control and made it faster, you would go up the scale. It would change it to be like chipmunk voices. You'd be pitching it upward. So if you are in modern day DJ stuff, I could go from 120 BPM on the song it's 0. It's where it's recorded at, where it's played at. If I had another song that was 125, I could speed up that 120 to 125, no problem, play them in sync, and it would be fine, and you wouldn't have any pitch or octave differences. It's much easier nowadays than it was before. Back in the day, you would be looking at things in their key and saying like, okay, well, this song is in, whatever key it's in. I need to mix in the same key, but I need to counter and think about what pitch has changed this song's key. Stuff like that. You don't need to do that anymore. That is just like out the fucking window. A lot of people mix in key still to this day, and it is good for crowd manipulation, but it's not necessary. Like, especially when learning DJing at like a base level, mixing in key is just like, it's unnecessary to learn. I was talking to one of my security guards the other day, and he asked me how long it would take for me to teach him how to mix, like in front of a crowd. And I said I could probably get him to be able to mix in front of a crowd within 3 months. But to efficiently mix in front of a crowd, and have an understanding of music and your own library and programming a night to do like a full set. And like most DJs that just learn, programming is the most important thing to know because you're learning how to play a crowd, like learning what people want and learning how to adjust your set to be able to play to a crowd. That's what programming is. Most people don't know that, and they will just go up there and they play their music, whatever they want to hear. That's a major difference between DJing. Anyways, that's my rant for this episode.
Okay, no, that's good. That helped me understand what I'm about to discuss in Dan to Dan, episode 8. Mm-hmm. The haunted composers are like, who the hell is making all those ugly sounds?
Real quick, sorry, I have to interrupt for just a moment. I hope I didn't make myself sound like a fucking idiot when I explained that. Because now I'm just thinking in my brain, I forgot the fucking word for octave. And now I'm like, oh my God, there's going to be another DJ that hears this episode at some point in time and be like, that guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's a fucking idiot. But I swear to God, I do. I know what I'm talking about.
No, don't worry. I'll chop it up post and it'll just be like, I got the biggest dick ever. Don't worry. I got you.
You're going to make me sound like a fucking genius, and I appreciate that, Greg. Also, keep this part in just so people know that this previous part was edited.
No, or either that, I'll change the pitch, and then you'll just sound like really slow and dumb and old.
Yeah, I'll sound slow, dumb, and old, and then you got to change the pitch so that I could sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah, I got you.
Pretty please. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate this.
Okay, so the haunted composers are like, who the hell is making all those ugly noises? And Ira and Okaroon are like, not us. But then Turbo Granny is like, it's these two fucks. But then the composers attack, and Okaroon and Ira transform. And I said that this scene was really cool because it's basically monochrome with the pops of color for the characters.
Beautiful. Homage to old. They're old. Do you get it?
Oh, yeah.
Because they're in black and white.
Yeah.
And then when the music hits, they get colored because we're becoming alive.
Yeah,
Anyways.
New generation. Okay.
Yes.
Okaroon charges, but is surrounded by music notes, and he touches one, which causes a chain reaction to all the other notes, and Turbo Granny says he's got to dodge them properly, and the notes are bombs, and the rest symbols will make you rest in place. And Ira is like, how do we dodge this bullet hell? Ira is doing great, and Okaroon is like, damn, look at her go. And Turbo Granny is like, quit admiring and start dodging like her. And then he gets hit in the face with a note, and his voice goes up in pitch.
Also, really quickly, one thing, a lot of older music was created and recording at specific BPMs so that it was easier for the audience to consume. Now, during the song, they would change BPMs to slow or speed or whatever it was. And if it was an orchestral piece, to like create artificial intensity and speed up the track or whatever it is. This is like a reference kind of to that, because if you were to mess with a note, it would destroy the song. It would be very apparent that you fucked up. That's what that is, in my opinion.
They continue dodging, and then Okaroon gets hit with a rest symbol, and Turbo Granny is like, I told you to watch out for those, you idiot. And then she gets hit by one, and then they get blown up, and Okaroon turns back to a human, while Ira, in acrobatic silky, is doing backflips, and he's like, damn, she's good. And Okaroon has a pity party saying he hasn't gotten stronger at all. What is this, Kaiju number 8? Turbo Granny starts throwing dirt at him and is like, if you have time to whine, you have time to move your spine and to sense a rhythm. She says that we don't know how long Ira can dodge, and the composer's performance doesn't matter. Just remember some sort of music and move to the rhythm. But Okaroon is like, damn, I don't listen to any music and don't know any songs. And I said, preach, brother, me either. But then Okaroon remembers the Hayashi performance. Ira isn't sure how to attack, and as she's dodging, she gets stuck in the ground, and as she's going to get hit by a bomb, Okaroon goes full rocker and saves her and is reliving the performance. And Ira is able to hook one with her hair and kick its head off, and it turns back into the picture of the original composer. The remaining composers start playing their music, but then the main composer, who is Beethoven, domain expansions Symphony Number 9 and summons a giant opera singer, and then 3 more giant opera singers pop out of the ground and minions start falling out of their mouths. Turbo Granny says they're illusions, so don't worry about them, and go for the composers. And as they are overwhelmed by minions, Ira grabs Okarune's hand and she hair whips onto one of the giants to pull themselves out. And Ira tells Okarune to get to the composers while she deals with the giants.
This picture of Ira kicking that dude's fucking head off was so fucking hard. And then they pose right afterward, and I'm like, God damn. Do we get the JoJo's pose too? What the fuck? This shit was dope. I loved this episode. It was aura farming to like the utmost degree.
The giants are punching each other, trying to hit Ira, and then more minions fall out of the audience seats. Before they're overwhelmed, Turbo Granny tells Okarune to get the composers, but he says he can only full throttle twice, and there's 5 composers. But then Turbo Granny says 5 actions per beat should be easy for her. And Okarune is like, oh, I get it now. And then I said, glad he does, since I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Do you understand it now?
Yeah, I understand it now. But at the time, I was like, cool, all right, I'll just smile and nod. I'm like, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, Greg, I'm going to have you do an exercise.
I haven't exercised in so long because I'm so fat.
So I'm going to clap. That's the normal BPM. You would go.
I can't hear you clap, but I can see you clap.
Okay. Well, that's probably because my compressor's on. But that would be the explanation of this. Those are the same times. Those are same time signatures.
Yeah. So it's like the whole note, half note, quarter note. And
yes,
the quarter note is in the same, like you play 4 notes in the same time, it would take you to play a whole note.
I know what you're saying. You're saying a bar. You can fit a bunch of notes into a bar. And that's what Granny's trying to say. So in the same BPM, which the bar would be like 120, like I said, you could remove notes and insert notes and extra beats, so to speak. And it wouldn't change the BPM of the song. You'd still be in sync because you're still looking at the same bar.
So if it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, you could do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then you basically have 8 instead of 4.
Yes. Great. Perfect, Greg.
Okay.
Way to go.
I'm a musician now.
Yes.
Okarune gets to the stage and hits all 5 of them all at once with a single full throttle, and they all turn back into their composer portraits, and the curtain closes, and they are back in the music room.
Also, he bows to them, by the way, by headbutting them.
Yeah.
And also, this fucking imagery is so sick, dude. Because it's a still, you don't see him like hit them all in a row. I don't know if this is showing them like a manga panel brought to life, but it looks fucking awesome.
Okarune goes to see if Ira is okay, and he said he was able to defeat them because of her, but she's smitten by Okarune, and she's not saying the stuff she normally says. But Turbo Granny saves the day and is like, you guys still suck. And she says, what you understand is nothing compared to my true power. Ira is like, well, what was with those ghost composers? And Turbo Granny says it is collective fear of the portraits. And if you come and play the piano at 2 a.m. again, they'll show up. And if you die in there, you die in real life. Ira's like, how did you know that? And Turbo Granny is like, well, I'm always thinking of ways to kill you guys. And she goes to get off the piano, but accidentally hits a key, and now the composers are back, and they have to do it again. Back at Seiko's, Manjiro is talking to Gigi and says they should call the Hayashi band again, and Evil Eye is countering them and will be overwhelmed, and someone will die. Manjiro says you don't want to kill Seiko or Momo, and you won't be able to live with your parents like this either. And Manjiro says they'll do the exorcism tomorrow, and he's already called the band. Momo is like, hey, don't make that decision on your own like that. And Manjiro says he'll be doing the ritual prayers, and Momo is like, hey, Seiko, say something. You said you would make him part of the family. And Gigi has been working hard on controlling his spiritual pressure, but Seiko doesn't say anything. Just then, Okarune is like, Gigi, get the fuck outside. And Okarun tells Ira to give Gigi the water treatment. And he's going to give Evil Eye the beating of his very short baby childhood life. And no one interfere. Momo is like, man, what is going on? And he says he was pissed Evil Eye assaulted her and everyone and is trying to accept Evil Eye. And Okarun is mad at his own weakness and then transforms. And Okarun tells Gigi he'll make sure his will to protect Evil Eye will be protected. I put too many protects in a sentence and confused myself.
Okay, you protected the sentence.
Manjiro is like, hey, Okarun, we already decided to exorcise him tomorrow. And Seiko is like, Okarun has fire in his words. Don't embarrass him. And then Ira splashes Gigi, and he says he's trusting Okarun with Evil Eye. And then Evil Eye and Okarun square off. And that's how the episode ends.
Turbo Granny has now hopped on Okarun's back several times now, and it's the cutest shit in the world. I love it so fucking much. Like, this little scene, he like crouches down and he's like about to charge Evil Eye, and then you see like Turbo Granny like boop 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 and then hop onto his back, and I'm just like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, she's like, I'm fucking helping, bro.
These little details here is what makes Dan to Dan stand out among the rest of the animes that are coming out in the same season. Because, like, they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to animate Turbo Granny, like, hop on his back. They don't have to animate all of the little fights while they're eating dinner together. And Turbo Granny is, like, tugging at Momo's jacket, asking where her fluffy pillow is and stuff. Like, you don't have to do that. But doing those little details is adding depth to the entire show, which makes the show overall better.
Yeah, it's more character development in 0 words. The story is not centered around these characters at this moment, but you can see their day-to-day interactions being developed. Like, it's really fucking cute. The Ira situation of her, like, laying on the ground with her boba and sitting there and watching, like, it comes into play that she has the boba and then splashes it on Evil Eye, but it's just, you don't, like, you could show her have the boba at one point and then her laying down there, unnecessary, but still, it shows how lazy she is and how, like, she doesn't take the situation seriously and then makes the mistake. It's just stuff like that. It's wonderful. Love it. Yeah. I'm such a huge fan. Show's so good.
And that's it.
Yep.
That's all we got for you today.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for another wonderful episode of the Anime Book Club podcast. Check us out on Spotify. Hopefully you're listening there. And hopefully you enjoy the videos of us doing all of this stuff and showing you the screenshots, and you're able to really enjoy and love the episodes as much as we do, like especially Kaiju number 8. Also, check us out live, twitch.tv/DJ Montague. Greg, you want to thank our sponsors?
IT-aesthetics.com.
His
cool
fucking
shirts.
face, man. I hope you leave that whole pause in there where you're just like,
I'm doing the fake, like, I'm in a Teams meeting and then my connection cut out, but you could still see the lights going in the fan.
Yeah. 100%.
ITaesthetics.com for your Dan to Dan and Kaiju shirts. Use tab C10 at checkout for 10% off of your order, and gamersubs.gg where you can get the limited edition flavor Bloody Sternum Chip from the summer Hikaru died, and get 10% off of that limited edition flavor using DJ Montague at checkout for 10% off.
I wonder if they're going to yell at me at some point and be like, hey man, we're getting the weirdest requests for these flavors, and these aren't flavors at all.
Maybe they should.
We have raw meat as a flavor, but not bloody sternum chip.
Or maybe someone will be like, hey, where's your bloody sternum chip flavor? And they're like, who leaked? How do they know?
What? Wait, how did they know about the Summer Hikaru Died collab before we announced it? Thanks, Greg.
But yeah, catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, check us out on the Instagram at the Anime Book Club podcast, and check out the website, theanimebookclub.com. And we got nothing else for you except the moral of the story, which is to build your own style. Don't worry about what other people are doing or what they think. Honing your own preferences is better than criticizing the preferences of others.
Yeah, 100%. Don't step on anyone else's parade.
Yeah,
Make your
and
own
if you
parade.
like collecting figurines, it doesn't matter if some survey says that that's the most unattractive thing ever. You know what? Do what you want.
Yeah, and you'll be happier. Build those model trains, dude. Nobody gives a shit.
And anyone that thinks model trains is unattractive, you don't want to be attracted to them anyway. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Preach, my friend. This is my theory on everything I've been doing as of recently. I'm going to be the best version of me that I could possibly be. And if you like me for who I am, you can come hang out. And if you don't, I don't fucking care. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to enjoy my life. Boom, shakalaka. Friends, we will see you in the next episode of the Anime Book Club podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Once again, be safe out there. Greg, it's time to say goodbye.
And I will oblige and say goodbye.
Nice. Thank you, friends, for checking out the Anime Book Club podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
And if you don't want to miss the next one, follow us on the socials where we announce new episodes, content, and other cool stuff. You can also check out our anime list with our rankings and follow along with what we're currently watching and what we have watched in the past.
All the links are in the description. See you in the next one. Bye!